Let's talk about stacking a bunch of metals. Okay. In the previous session, we just saw about how to draw a bus array type. Okay. So assume that this is your given area of your module. It's a custom digital block, and you have some requirement of drawing multiple lines over here. There are lots of pins which need to be pulled out from this dense logic. Let's assume that this is a some dense custom digital logic or digital logic, and you've got lots of pins to pull out in different metals. So how do you do that? I mean, you don't waste your time drawing one by one. If it's a beginner, then yes, it's okay. You're trying, but as you progress, you need to figure out ways of doing things much faster. So how do you do that? You use the feature of bus itself and then try to create an array which will help you do the routing. Now we just saw that in here in this complete space here, you can have easily around 8 buses, which we just saw in the previous video. So let's try to create that. Okay, so just say create wiring bus F3. Now, let me draw this pattern over here. Okay, let me draw 3 lines each. Okay, so over here, I'll go to custom pattern. I told you 3 bits means 3 metals. If I write 4 bits means 4 metals. Okay, so now I want to create a pattern which has got 3 metals. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 metals should be stacked together. So how do you mention the numbering and how do you mention the pattern over here is what I'm trying to show now. So I want all the odd metals to be stacked one above the other. So it could be 1, 3 and 5. Okay, this is 1, 3 and 5. So let's take M2 and M4 as horizontal metals. So for the sake of explanation, I am trying to draw M1, M3 and M5 together, stacked. So this is, you use a bracket individually for each metal when you want them separate. Okay, separated with certain distance mentioned over here. Now, if you want the metals to be stacked one above the other, so you should be mentioning it like this: M1, M3, M5. Right. I will mention again M1 with a space, M3, M5. Okay, I'll just delete this. Let me show you this one. Now, if you see here, I'm expecting to draw 6 metal strips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the pattern what I want to draw is one above the other. I want these 3 metals to be stacked one above the other. These 3 metals to be stacked one above the other. So now total metal strips are 6. So my number of bits should be 6. Okay. The array, the way you mention array and all is different from the numbering what the tool is expecting over here. I want 6 lines, 6 metal lines. Okay, but they need to be grouped or stacked one above the other. That is what you're drawing. This is one of the pattern. So earlier I have drawn all of these patterns. Every time you keep writing a pattern, it keeps getting stored over here. So for every session, it will be stored over there, and any module you open up, and if at all you need a bus, you just click the pattern and generate automatically, it will generate the pattern for you. Okay, so this is one important thing which helps so that you don't have to redo your work. So in this here, so this is how you enter the information in this form. So I want 2 lines which has got M1, M3, M5 stacked together. So since this is 3, this is 3, is total 6. What I'll do, I'll go here, I will draw 2 lines and hit enter. Right. So I wanted 2 lines, I wanted odd numbers. So I selected M1, M3 and M5. I just select this metal, query it, see that M1, M3 and M5. 0.07, that is width is 0.07 and the spacing is 0.07. Okay. Now if I want more of these, what I would do, Control Shift X and F3. Now I will copy the same pattern here. Okay, so 4 lines, I will copy another 4 more. I want 8 stacks of these. Okay, and 8 threes are 24. So I should be mentioning 24 lines here. So if you see, even though it is M1, M3 and M5, but I'm having 8 strips over here. Within this area, I can draw 8 strips with a spacing of 0.07. So what I do, if you see here, M1, M3, M5, M1, M3, M5, I've put 8 brackets together. So I just hide, go here and click. There you go. Just select all of this and align it. Oh, sorry. You can move it here. Okay. So this is how now each strip of this has got M1, M3, M5, which means what? In this given area, you can pull out 24 connection lines. I've pulled out only vertical ones. Now, if you want to draw horizontal array, you just need to change the array pattern to M2, M4, M6. Right? Same thing, you can change it to horizontal lines and draw it. That's how you draw bus with alternative metals so that you deal with the issue of dense routing in a given area. So this is how your bus feature will help you draw multiple lines in a given area. Okay. So yeah, this is about it. So yes, you can play around with this as in when you go, when you have multiple options, you can play around with this options and try to see based on your needs. You can try M2, M4, M6, whatever metal patterns you want. Okay. So let's talk a bit about shielding. Okay. So now over here, you can very well play around with this tool feature and try to create shielding nets using the bus feature. Okay, let's take a simple example. I want to create a sidewall shielding. Okay, so let me create this. Okay, F3. Now I'm not using any specific pattern here, and I just want 3 nets to be drawn with a spacing of 0.01. For as of now, let me leave it like this. 3 lines, I'm just drawing it, and I will just parallel lines. Generally, whenever we are drawing shielding nets, we know that the middle net is much wider compared to the shielding nets. The width of the middle main signal net will be double the size of the shielding nets. So let's try to implement that quickly rather than having to draw manually and all. Let's use a bus over here. Hide it. I want to draw it in M2, so I will draw these 3 lines. Okay, so I've drawn this. This is the metal. I'll quickly select this. I will widen it. 0.14. Okay, so now I'll select all of this and I will say align. I'll use the align option here. I'll create a spacing of 0.14. Metal is written, horizontal spacing, set a reference. Click on this, then just click apply. There you go. This is how your tool helps you quickly draw shielding nets. This is your example of sidewall shielding. If you want to stack this, you can very well select the metals and do it. Same thing implies for the stacked metals which we just saw. Okay, so that's how you take advantage of a couple of features of the tool to draw bus. See how quickly it draws rather than if at all you didn't know this trick of doing these things. You have to draw 3 metals separately again, measure them, space them apart, draw it. It would take a lot of time. Here, by click of few buttons, you have it. Okay. So now, same case, if at all you want to create a coaxial shielding. Okay, this is a sidewall shielding. If at all you want to create a coaxial shielding, what would you do? Right? We'll take advantage of the same feature which we just studied in this video and the previous video and try to create a coaxial shielding over here. Okay, so let me go to create wire bus. Okay, 3. Now I will try to have 3 nets. I want 3 nets. Okay, let me select a pattern if at all I have already written. Okay, No, I don't think I don't have it. So I will just rewrite the whole pattern again. So I need M1, stack M2, sorry, and M1. Okay, I want 3 lines because we know that in a coaxial shielding, lower level you will have metal 1, middle 2 you have the other net, and the M2, and top you have metal 3. So the bottom plate, let's assume that this is the bottom plate. We need M1, M2, and M3. So the middle signal line is just M2. You're not drawing all the three because this is the main signal net which you're trying to draw. Okay. So now over here, let's draw the same pattern again. M1, M2, M3. Okay. So here I'm trying to create a pattern over here with 3 patterns. Okay. In here you've got M1, M2, M3. Say one side of it. M2 is my signal line. M3 is the left side of it. So these two are the shielding nets, bottom and top, and this is my signal net. So overall, if you see how many metal strips I'm expecting the tool to draw, these are 7. 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll just mention it as 7 over here. And I've also mentioned the type of metals. I've mentioned the widths as well. Okay, so I'll just say hide, enter. Right. So now you see here, I've got M1. There is no M1 over here, right? M2. There's M1 and M2 over here. I will just add an auto via here. So let's just say 3. So I've created a shield here. So now I will have only M3 here. There's no M3 over here in the middle, right? So I will just draw again M2 and M3. Easy. So now I know that I will have to space them apart. You can just use the same feature. Now if I have to just say increase the width of the bottom plate, so I'll just go down, okay, measure this, 0.35, so just make it wider. You can just delete this guy if you wish to. This is your line. Okay, it's not picking up. Let me just move it. Now and your top plate. Same way, just increase this. There you go. So you have your M1, the bottom plate with the M1, M2 wires only at the edges, and you've got M2, which is a signal net. Ideally, you should be making this wider. In here, I've just shown the selection. So this is what your signal net. Let me deactivate this. So you can have this. This is your signal net. This is the bottom plate. M2, the sidewall nets, M2, M3 via, and M3 on the top. This is how you create a coaxial shielding net. So this is how it helps the layout engineers to improvise their routing skills. You know, you learned sidewall shielding, coaxial shielding. I agree that we use coaxial shielding very rarely, but on the similar lines, you can utilize these features, whatever you have learned in these videos, to help you do a shielding kind of a routing more quickly. Okay, and keep in mind that whatever patterns you have seen here, right? Whatever patterns you've generated, every pattern will get stored for this session, right? So next time when you open another video, another layout window in your design, these patterns, you can pick up whatever pattern you had drawn, and it helps you. You don't have to enter these things again and again. So yeah, you can play around with these options. These are some of the options which I've taught you. You can play around with this, try to explore and learn more. I guess whatever I've taught will help you a lot. Okay. Thank you.